Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. I really do appreciate all you guys for being here. I know a lot of you guys are heard about who I'm having on the show. A lot of you guys are very excited about seeing this wonderful individual coming onto the show here shortly, and I appreciate her for being here and being a part of the conversation. But again, thank you guys all for being here and just being a part of the conversation, because we, of course, have got to keep the word flowing. We got to keep the conversation moving. As you know, just a few days ago, Adventures with Purpose came out with a very big, very revealing, very, very revealing video about how they found Kiely. Now, the thing is that you think it would have closed some chapters, but actually it just kind of reopened more chapters, or actually started more chapters to a book that we thought was pretty much wrapped up, right? Well, Adventures with Purpose said, au contraire, mon frère, we got some things to talk about. And there's a lot of questions here with Kiely Rodni. And also there's a lot of questions revolving around Jolissa Fuentes, all right? Young woman that went missing out in California as well. And there's so many questions about that after she went to go get a cigar at like basically a little mini mart. So many questions that are popping off, and we need to get into this and get down to the nitty gritty. We only have our guest for a very short while, but it's going to be a packed little while. So some housekeeping really quick. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Do not forget to do that, okay? Send it past 200 likes. I see a bunch of y'all starting to file in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Pascal Show. And if you haven't done it yet, okay, you're watching this show for the very first time, okay, please do me a favor. Do me that solid, okay? Hit that subscribe button, baby. Crush it, all right? Make it scream out your name. It really, really mean a lot, okay? So we got to get into some things, guys. All right. As we already know, Adventures with Purpose came out with this video that just blew the doors off of this Kiely Rodni case. A lot of people are speculating a lot of new things now because of the interviews and the information that was given in this video. I am very, very, very blessed and excited to have this particular individual on the show to talk about this, because she has been following not only this case, but also Jolissa's. She was obviously very, very heavily dedicated to the Gabby Petito case last year as well. Please welcome retired FBI agent of 25 years, by the way, Jennifer Coffindaffer, to the show. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Pascal. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Now, I know that, you don't have a whole lot of time, but we're gonna knock out a bunch of things in a very, very short while. I'm very excited about having you here. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. What are your thoughts so far? Like, after seeing the Adventures with Purpose video, what were your thoughts initially after it came out?
Well, Pascal, let me first just say real quickly, I want to give my most sincerest condolences to Kiely's family. I can't even imagine walking 1 minute, one day in their shoe steps. So I did want to say that. It would have been Kiely's 17th birthday yesterday. And I think that makes this situation really hit home to so many of us that have children, that know people who are 17. So I did want to start off with that, since I haven't been on air at all about Kiely's situation.
Of course. And I appreciate you taking the time to be on air to talk about it here too. And yes, one, may she rest in peace, obviously. That's numero uno. And yeah, I didn't realize it was her birthday until I saw it on your Twitter feed. I was like, oh my Lord, she just wow, she just turned 17. Her birthday was just yesterday. So yeah, it is definitely I'm sure for a lot of people hitting home right now. But now that you see saw this footage, Adventures with Purpose came through, and which has been they did an amazing job. Let's just be real. They came in, they were able to go through that place in less than 48 hours and find her and the car and close at least that chapter, answer that burning question, which is where is Kiely? But now they came out with this video. It just came out just a couple days ago. We watched it and talked about it as a family here a few days ago. What were your thoughts on it? You know, did it open more questions? Do you feel it drove some certain theories home, or did it just turn into like a snowball effect of just getting crazier and bigger and bigger and bigger?
Well, I think certainly it put our light on a few other angles that need to be explored, that so many of the sleuths behind the scene, so many in the social media world were already concerned about. And that was simply, did this case involve not just an accident, but rather possible foul play? And the video that they released certainly indicated from AWP's perspective that they saw some things that concerned them, to say the least. I think to see the diver's face when he came up out of the water, which in my view wasn't staged. I think that was his true reaction in reading his face. That's my belief. I don't think they did it later for effect. And I believe he was concerned because Kiely was found behind the back seat in that way back area of the car. And we know there's a lot of reasons that could happen. There could have been an air bubble. She could have swam to that air bubble. She could have been forced by the trajectory of the vehicle going in, flipping. You know how water affects, just think of the different times you've swam or been in a situation with a gush of water, how much of an effect that can have on your body movement. Having said that, I found it interesting that it bothered them because they are the experts in this area. And that's why I thought that was significant, Pascal.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more because let's be completely real here. These guys, it's not like for Adventures with Purpose. It's not like this is their first rodeo. It's not like they go down and this is the first time they've actually found a car with actual human remains in it. That reaction was proof positive for me even too. Now that this video is not private anymore, or not for members only anymore. Now it's open to the public. I want us to take a look at that actually, because this video or just this clip alone says so much. And this is a professional. This is somebody who does this every day, or every time that he needs to do it. But his reaction says so much. Let's take a look at this really quick.
Yep. That's what we do it for, brother. Good job. Good job. It's positive,
And I mean, that's just a clip, right? That's just a small clip of what the whole video looks like. And of course, I got to say, please, guys, go over and check out that video. I'm not going to show you all of it, but the way he reacts, the way he looks, the way it's like he just came out for air from being underwater after finding this young girl in the back of the car. And the fact that he was like, yo, something's not right. She's in the back of the car. That's a professional seeing this. And I'm sure he's seen plenty of things. But for him to sit there and say that, I totally 110% agree with you, Jennifer. Something just isn't right. Right?
Yeah, it was the source of that information and the visceral response he had. You could tell he was shaken. And I'm sure some of your viewers are divers. I personally am a diver. For him to come up that winded and expended emotionally, I think was very real. The other item I think that sticks out to me when I first saw the video was the interview, obviously, of the emergency roadside service provider, tow truck driver, however we want to label this individual. I have so many mixed emotions about that interview. I believe that the reason that AWP did that interview uh, was important for their work. They were the ones that were contacted, and that individual said he had already spoken with a detective. So AWP knew that he had provided the information he was going to provide to AWP already to LE. But the information he provided was so important because of the possibility it put forth that she did not pass that evening, but rather was alive the next day, Saturday. Now, I'm not saying that I believe that. I'm saying I believe the tow truck driver. In other words, I don't think he's lying. I don't think he came forward just with this story. I think that he truly thinks he saw Kiely Rodni and that other young man who he described. I think it's clear he's not sure about the day. He later talks about, well, he told his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend knows it was Saturday because that's her, I believe it was the grandfather's birthday. I'm not sure we really have a day pegged down, but I think that could have happened. And we're going to find out, Pascal, right? Because there's video. So we don't even have to speculate. We just need to be patient and wait.
But see, that's the thing, though. Let's talk about that. I'm so glad that you said that because, yes, this information that we just got from Nick, the roadside assistant guy, is baffling, right? It's huge information. But then it's like, okay, he says he's got audio, he's got video. He says he gave it to a detective. But what I find interesting is why haven't we seen any of that stuff? Now, I understand that, law enforcement and 5-0 will hold things and play things close to the chest because they don't want to expose too much. And I get that because they don't want to throw people off and all that. But given the fact that there's this information out here and that it could change the actual timeline of her time on this earth, why wouldn't they have at least come out with this information? Because we're hearing this from Adventures with Purpose. We're not hearing this from reports from the press conferences that they've had, etc. So why? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, first, I want to say this. I am a huge AWP fan. So many people, I'm not sure they understand what dive teams do law enforcement wise. In other words, law enforcement officers have their duties, and then separately from that, they pick up separate duties. Some want to be on the dive team. Some want to be a part of SWAT. Some want to be firearms instructors. There's all these different areas, and they do it part-time. They do some training. They go out and assist on dives. They are not at all, they can't even be compared to the experts AWP are. In fact, the FBI was recently trained by AWP, about 20 divers. So that shows you where the FBI is going. And it's simply because these guys do it day in and day out, where law enforcement might get a training day 1 day a year, 2 days a year. And so people seem upset that law enforcement didn't find Kiely and her car. But as you saw from the video AWP posted, This is like looking at a sonogram of a child. I mean, it needs to be read by professionals that read these sonograms all the time. Even amongst AWP, there was confusion. Is it a boat? Is it a car? I think I see a wheel. It's hard for even them, and they do it all the time.
That is true. I mean, you got guys who are experts in the game, experts in what they do. They're I call them the Liam Neesons, right? They have these certain set of skills that I don't think a lot of law enforcement have. And I hope that, outside of all of this, because I know that a lot of law enforcement right now, at least in that area, some people out here are saying, oh, it was about ego, holding them back from being able to do X, Y, and Z, stopping them from going to the Prosser Reserve. Those are other stories that we're hearing, that law enforcement was trying to deter them from going to the area where they actually found Kiely. But I'm hoping that outside of all that stuff, they set egos aside and learn from these guys, and trade tricks of the trade, so that if something ever happens like this again, they're properly vetted and they can do what they need to do. But the strange thing about this, when it comes to that interview alone, it does make you wonder what the heck is going on. Why haven't they put this information out? They're holding all this stuff back, but we're only hearing it from a YouTube channel, from a YouTube video. And like I said, and we both agree, Adventures with Purpose, huge thumbs up to you guys. Kudos to you guys. Real talk. But it makes you wonder, why isn't this information out here? Because it would explain a lot if she was out kicking it with a guy randomly, or if she was in dire straits. There are so many new theories out here saying it's actually another person, another girl, and that actually Kylie's in the back of the car, unalive in the back of the car. I mean, there's so many speculations out here, but this is the problem. And this is the reason why I wanted to bring your wonderful self on here, because the amount of theories and conspiracies that are starting to sprout just from this video is getting out of hand, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think the problem with all these theories is it detracts from the loss of this beautiful girl, and the family, I'm sure, is feeling inundated. They turn on their cell phone, they turn on a television station in their area, and I'm sure that they have to see all the speculation flying. And I would say this: we are going to know. We're going to know, not only because we're going to see the tow truck video in time, we are going to see the autopsy results. Now, I want to say clearly that I think the manner of death, meaning, was it an accident? Was it a homicide? What was the manner of death? I think that will come out very soon. What we're not going to know are the autopsy results. Autopsies are criminal investigations. People think of them sometimes perhaps as a 1 or 2 page document. That is not what it is. The autopsy is an A to Z investigation of how a person died. There's interviews that are done, toxicology, obviously all the forensics on the body. It is extravagant. Dozens of pages in a case like this, probably. So we have to be patient for that to be concluded. What we need to pay close attention to is, if they determine the manner of death is an accident, this speculation needs to end.
Interesting. I agree. But then the question still remains, why is it taking so long to get autopsy reports? Why is it taking? Are they dragging their feet? Is the family trying to seal that information from the public? What are your thoughts on that?
Pascal, I don't think we have any information, again, except for speculation as to the family trying to withhold the information. They may choose to do that. This is a minor, after all. But the reason we're not seeing anything is because it's not done. And it can take weeks, it can take months. Actually, I was looking at a case that took a year for the autopsy. And in many of our cases that we have that we're following right now, one that I just tweeted about, Cassie Carley, they still don't have her autopsy report done. And they're saying it's going to be weeks to maybe even a couple months more. So we have to be patient. These are true investigations, Pascal, where they not only, as I said, look at the medical information, they conduct interviews, they look at where the person was found. They're waiting on the crime scene to be those records to be done in that report. You know, there's a full-on crime scene investigation done simultaneous as the autopsy is being done. We haven't seen any of that either.
Yeah, and I know that I understand that it's going to take, as far as that toxicology report, it could take a month or months for that as well to get that kind of information out as well. I guess, when I'll just say this, when the police came up and they actually made the announcement that that they did find a car, that there was a body inside of that car that could be Kiely's, etc. They did say, autopsy should be coming in, within the end of the week. And I think a lot of people heard that and held that as scripture in hopes that by the end of the week, everyone who's been emotionally invested in this story would know what actually happened, what could have possibly happened to this young girl. And given the fact that they haven't said anything yet, except that they identified her body, that it is actually Kiely Rodni's body that was found in that reservoir, people are still sitting there scratching their heads going, what's the holdup? What's slowing this thing down? So I appreciate you actually clarifying that part, because there's so much that still, you're right, scratches on her body, bruises, etc. What was in her system before anything had happened? Is there water in her lungs or not? So on and so forth. Because if there's water in her lungs, then she would have succumbed through drowning or from the water. If there isn't water in her lungs, then maybe something heinous happened before she was put into the lake. But like I said, so many different theories. But real quick, what are your thoughts about this particular case? Do you think that there's foul play or not?
Well, I think that we don't have the facts to say an opinion yet. I'm waiting for more definitive answers because they're there. And I think for me personally, to take a guess at what those are going to be, I can't, especially based on the facts that we have before us, which are not definitive and are just really calling for wild speculation as opposed to having true facts on the table. So I don't like to make any guesses without some facts to gnaw on.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And yeah, we can, and it's easy to run down speculation land and just say, oh, this is exactly what happened, so on and so forth. But there are a lot of questions, a lot of weird things about this particular story. Can I ask you something? This is very random and off the cuff, but with this particular story, did you think it was a open and closed kind of case in the very beginning, or did you kind of speculate the same things that a lot of the general public is thinking right now? Or what are your thoughts?
Pascal, I came out pretty early on and I said, I believe, based on what's before us at this particular time, that it is a tragic accident. And I'm still leaning toward that direction.
Fair enough. I'm hoping, I know that sounds weird. I'm hoping that it is. I'm agreeing with you 110%. I'm hoping that nothing sinister is going on here, that this was just a bad accident, a horrific and devastating loss due to an accident. Because I'd hate to think that there's somebody out here running around in these streets that just took this young girl's life. So But we will, just like you said, we got to sit back, we got to wait, and we got to see what the autopsy says, what proof, more information comes out here. And also, I'd love to see this tow truck video and audio. It's in
Mhm.
broad daylight, so it's not like it's in the middle of the night type thing. So hopefully, if we see that, maybe that'll give us some more breadcrumbs towards finding the truth here.
And Pascal, I did want to say this,
Sure.
that I really am grateful to individuals like yourself, um, the sleuths and advocates on social media, mainstream media, News Nation, and others who put at the forefront these types of cases. Because if we don't continue bringing light to these cases and shining the light at these cases, they often become cold. There's disinterest. Other cases become in the forefront. So it's so important to use all of our platforms, big, small, medium. Every voice is important to keep these names and these faces out there so that the answers and the facts come forth.
I couldn't agree more, Jennifer. I appreciate you saying that. The more we talk about these things, you're right. The more we put their names out there, the more people hear about it. They keep their heads up. They keep their eyes open. Hopefully, they can find these individuals that go missing. And that's a perfect segue for the next thing that we're talking about, which is Jolissa Fuentes. It's a young woman that went missing. She, out of nowhere, she was out at a party. She went to basically like a mini mart for a cigar at around 5 a.m. And then she never returned anyone's phone calls, never came home. And this beautiful young soul is still missing right now. I know that Adventures with Purpose were out scouring the area that she was in with no luck. They found nothing, no car and no remains. So she is still out here. One thing I found very interesting, though, is this piece. And this is why I brought you on as well, so that you can explain a little bit to us laymen's out here. Search for missing California woman Jolissa Fuentes is now a criminal investigation, police say. So I wanted to understand that a little bit, because I know that we can all look at that and go, oh my God, oh, sinister, something salacious. But what does that actually mean here?
Well, I think it does mean sinister and it does mean salacious from the standpoint of law enforcement has information, I believe, that shows there was foul play in Jolissa's situation. And when I read that and researched that, it seems clear that is the trajectory of that case, and that there's a clear reason that law enforcement is going in that direction. Remember, Jolissa makes a phone call to a relative at about 4:30-ish that morning. That person isn't awake or up, and we don't have that details. But there's a lot of interest in her last phone calls and her last actions. Of course, her phone pinging toward and I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, Avocado Lake. We know that those have been cleared by Adventures with Purpose, and I think so most of us feel some sense of assurity that she's not in those bodies of water. I found it very interesting, Pascal, that law enforcement, when it was brought up that AWP was searching those lakes, law enforcement said, we don't have information she's in those lakes. And I thought that to me, that showed me that they thought at that point they already had something telling them this is in the right direction of this. This isn't an accident drove in the lake. This is something different, because they were very strong in that statement, as they are very strong saying this is a criminal matter. So I think it is important that we in the public people in California, in the Fresno area, any little detail that you might have seen, even if you're not sure, was it her car? Was it, was it her? Just like that tow truck driver, you got to come forward because Jolissa could be in serious harm's way.
She could be anywhere at this point, which is devastating to think. But as far as if you don't mind me backtracking a little bit on what you just said here, but you just said a second ago that law enforcement said, "Oh no, it's not over there." So what could they possibly know that they may not have told Adventures of Purpose, or they may not have put out here to lead to the idea that this is a criminal matter? If somebody just vanishes like this out of thin air, and there's maybe no evidence to prove anything of the sort, how can they say this is absolutely 110% a criminal investigation?
Well, Pascal, we're looking through the lens of the public. We're not looking through the lens that law enforcement has. They have subpoenas, so they have issued subpoenas to get evidence and information that, of course, we're not privy to. Warrant information that they're able to retrieve that information and evidence and look at. They're able to conduct interviews, and who knows what interviews are being conducted. We never knew about the tow truck driver until AWP, yet law enforcement, he had already gone to a detective, but that wasn't made public. There's so much we don't know. So I believe that there's either forensics evidence, meaning from videos in the area, from cameras, from maybe a witness coming forward with a video or a photo. Also, her cell phone information. They've just given us a couple of hints, but we don't know what all is on that cell phone information because we haven't seen the subpoena documents. So law enforcement has, 100% of the evidence available to date. We have 10% that's out in the public. And it's that 90% that's leading law enforcement to believe there's criminal activity afoot.
That's interesting. Yeah, and it's very wild. You're absolutely right. A lot of things that we as the public get is not everything that law enforcement knows or what they're looking into, right? Because they could be looking at so many different clues, and sometimes it's, thank God they aren't giving everything out, because as soon as it may be a thread or a small little thing of evidence, sometimes the public just runs rampant, goes wild in speculation land, rather than just sitting back and just letting the clues lead them to finding that person or finding the truth of what happened to that particular person. But
and also, Pascal, really quick, if they let a lead go out, it leads to other leads that can be down rabbit trails. And law enforcement is so limited on their resources. This is a smaller department. I know they have brought in the FBI for resources, but it's so limited. And so the last thing you want to do is release evidence and information, and then people find out about it. And then whether it's true or whether it's not, it spins. And now they're facing clues and tips that really aren't relevant and going down rabbit holes. So by keeping things, the information sequestered, they can let the evidence guide them. That's actual evidence.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, of course you would know, right? Of course you would know. Well, Jennifer, I know that you have to hop off here and all that, but I just wanted to say a big thank you for being here, talking these things out, because these two cases are very interesting. And of course, we want to bring Jolissa. We already know what happened with Kiely. We want to bring justice for Kiely, if there's justice to be had. But of course, we want to, if we can, bring Jolissa home. I mean, I don't know if this could be a situation of trafficking. This could be anything at this point, ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully, we'll know here more as time goes on. Now, of course, I wanted to promote you and your page really quick, your Twitter. So please, guys, do me a favor. Okay. Please follow Jennifer Coffindaffer at Coffindaffer FBI. Okay. On Twitter. Okay. And is that your main platform, or do you have other platforms that you promote more? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, this is my main platform. And I just want to say the whole reason I got into the missing domestic violence and all of that, having done it for a whole career. Some might wonder, well, you've already sort of been there, done that. But I realized that there's still so much more to give. My heart just absolutely cried for Gabby Petito, not for any reason other than the tragedy of a young woman's life being snuffed out because of domestic violence. And so, yes, Pascal, Twitter is the platform I use to really promote these cases. And like I say, keep them in the forefront so they don't go cold and sit on a back shelf.
Absolutely. And there's so many, not only just Jolissa and Kiely, there are so many other missing children, missing people out here that do need a light shown upon them as well. And we're gonna we try to do it every show that we can. You know, every story that comes in that I get that it grabs my eye. I try to bring it up here and talk about it as well. And bringing you on here as well does help push that story out there, pushes their names out there, like Jolissa Fuentes. You know, that is somebody's name that is not getting as much traction. But by talking about it and keeping it out here in everyone on the tip of everybody's tongues, I think we'll hopefully bring her home safe. So Jennifer Coffindaffer, I want to say again, thank you so much for coming on. I would love to have you back on again sometime soon. It was a true blessing, and enjoy the rest of your day. Keep being dope.
Pascal, you're a blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm humbled. And to all your viewers, sorry we didn't get to interact. I love interacting with the viewers, but next time, Pascal.
Absolutely. Next time when we get more time with you. Okay. But I will be talking to you very soon. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good day.
All right. Guys, please go and follow Jennifer Coffindaffer over on her Twitter. Again, I just wanted to share this with you guys again really quick. Jennifer Coffindaffer, it's at Coffindaffer FBI. Go follow her real quick. Okay. Trust me, you will thank me later. All right. She is keeping everybody up to date on what's going on and all that. So please do me that favor. Okay. Hit that follow and be a part of the movement, be a part of the info. Okay. But it is that time. It is time to get going. I appreciate you guys for being here, being a part of the conversation. Again, actually, I should say this because this is important as well. Yesterday was the start of Suicide Awareness Month. I don't have my stuff with me, but please go check out my hoodies, my t-shirts, long sleeve tees, etc. We have a really great thing going on right now, raising money for suicide awareness. A portion of the proceeds that are from these t-shirts and hoodies are going to be donated to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So if you can, please go check out my merch page. That is pascalmerch.com. Okay. Again, it's pascalmerch.com. Please go and check it out. If you don't mind, that would be greatly appreciated. And right, like I said, there's a lot going on in these streets, and we need to bring more awareness to a very serious thing. We need to talk about it. Okay. So I'm hoping that these shirts, t-shirts, etc. will start a conversation, a much needed conversation. Okay, guys? But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys being on. I know it's a short show, but I wanted to bring on Jennifer Coffindaffer because she's a wonderful individual, and she was really, really informative on a lot of stuff. So I really appreciated her coming on. So please do me a favor before we end the show and say our goodbyes. Please hit that like button down below, okay? Send it past, I don't know, where are we at? Send it past, where are we at? Send it past 400 likes for me real quick. That'd be awesome before you head out, okay? A like doesn't cost a thing. That would really, really mean the world to me, okay? And don't forget to crush that subscribe button, okay? Thank you, and welcome to the Pascal Show family. And of course, if you want to, oh, shoot, I didn't get to do this, which I need to do before you guys leave. I am so sorry. 1 second. 1 second, man. I got to do this. Now I got to kill the music. I got to kill the music right now because I got to do this because I do this every show. So I got to. It happened way earlier in the show. I saw him in the corner of my eye. We have some members, okay? So I wanted to get those guys out. Nerdy, what? Nerdy Addict just became a member. Thank you so much, Nerdy. Wow, I didn't even know you were in the chat, bro. But what's up, man? Okay? What's up, my brother, man? All right. Thank you, Nerdy. I really do appreciate that, okay? I think there was 2 more. Donna Stewart, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so very much. Thank you. All right. And I think there was one more. One more. Let's see. And I could be completely wrong. I am wrong. Okay. But I appreciate all y'all for becoming members. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the good times. And welcome to the information and the conversations. The ones that we don't want to have and the ones that we do want to have. Okay? Thank you guys so much. And of course, again, Berenice, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Berenice Rivas. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the 5 super sticker. But I wanted to tag or pin T. What's up, T? What's up, my brother? It's been a long time. We need to get you back on the show like ASAP Rocky. All right. Miss your face, man. Real talk. That's my brother from another mother right there. T. But I just pinned his link to the top. That is literally the where you can go and get the Pascal merch or the merch that we're doing for Suicide Awareness Month. Please go and check that out. It is pascalmerch.com again. All right. And Penn Dizzy, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. And Stephanie Tam, welcome to the family as well. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. All right. I really do appreciate it. You know, seriously, thank you. I see some new subs like Love Wins. Absolutely, Love wins. It always wins. So thank you so much for becoming a new sub. I love that Love Wins became a sub. That means that I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? That's Love Wins. Dag nabbit. Love always wins. Okay? So thank you guys for being here and being a part of the conversation. You can always join my Patreon, my locals. You can always send a Cash App. No big deal. Or you can just join, hit that join button down below and just become a member of the show. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff of me creating these shirts and packing things up and all that. So and the stuff that I have coming up here very soon that I'm going to be sharing with you guys very, very soon on other endeavors around these shirts and hoodies as well. And it's very, very exciting. Okay. I really do appreciate you guys being a part of the journey and being so supportive. Without you guys, this purple room wouldn't exist. Let's just say that. Okay. So thank you guys so very much. Okay. And if you guys are on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word. All right. And TikTok and Twitter. and Instagram, The Pascal Show, one word. Okay. If you're on any of those platforms, follow. Por favor. Okay. Anyway, I have got to get going, but I appreciate all y'all for being here again. Have a blessed weekend if I don't see you guys, but there's plenty of stories we're going to be talking about. So I know for a fact I'll be hopping on throughout this weekend as well. We got a big, at least in America, we got a big weekend ahead of us. So do something dope, do something positive, do some serious R&R for yourself. And if you are going to go out and kick it, because you know for a fact there's going to be a lot of barbecues, a lot of cookouts, a lot of pool moments by the pool, sipping that little pina colada or those mojitos and margaritas. Please drink responsibly, okay? Arrive alive, get a DD, designated driver, or call you a Lyft or an Uber, okay? Be safe out there, guys. Anyway, it's time to get going. Have a great, dope, fat weekend because you deserve it. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.